As far as I know, they were doing CPR and then they were giving me like epinephrine injections, trying to shock me with the the AEDs. So there was quite a bunch of activity that they were doing during this time. And so, I know they were working on me really hard, but the whole time that I was gone, I went to heaven. So as far as what I was experiencing, it was wonderful, and I was able to see God and to see Jesus. And I'm in this room and there's these probably 20 people that had come running in, doctors and nurses and techs who were helping with different things. And so I was really terrified when it was happening. But when I came back, there was this level of peace that it stuck with me. It wasn't like I just had this experience and then I was kind of just left with just the memory of it. It was also like the love. When I went into the hospital, I had 7 hours in the emergency room that I was struggling for life. I could just feel that this was the time that I was going to die. Things had been leading up to it, so it kind of seemed logical that it was going to happen, but I knew it felt differently. And I just said, God, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I felt this shake and a pop. And the shake, I'm assuming I probably had like a seizure or something, who knows what was going on with my body. But what I felt was much different because I could feel that intense pain when I died, but it was so quick. The pain was so quick that it doesn't even register, as far as like even all the other suffering was worse than that. That pain was more intense, but it was so fast, and it was immediately, all of it was just immediately replaced with this peace and love. Like all of my broken places were just immediately rushed, like a flood of just love entered into my soul. So as soon as I popped out of my body, this love just popped right in, just flew right into my soul. And it was just like that. It happened so quick. It was instantaneous. So I'm in this dark tunnel with just love emanating all through me and around me. And I thought, well, I can't believe that this is just it. I didn't think that this could be possible, to feel this kind of love. And I'm looking at this dark void. It was like bigger than outer space. And it didn't have planets or stars, but it was that huge vacuum of just empty space. So when I stopped looking at that dark void, and because I saw that light, I immediately was looking at the light, so that I could still see the dark void in my periphery, but I was now focused on the bright light. The light was just beautiful, and it was emanating that love. I could feel that the love was coming directly from the light. And so I said, I want to be with the light. And as soon as I had made that conscious thought in my mind, I was there. And I could just feel it was just like a palpable love. It wasn't like, when your mom loves you, your mom loves you and you can feel it, but it's not like that feeling through your whole soul. It's a contained kind of feeling. And that's maybe the closest we can get to that pure love. But this was like, there was no restraints to it. There was nothing to hold this love back. It was just coming straight into me. And my soul was just accepting it. It was so bright that if you imagine a bright light in Earth, I mean, the sun was nothing near what the sun would have been swallowed like a candle out in daylight. It would have been nothing compared to this light. But it was not hurting my eyes. It felt good. It felt wonderful to be able to look at the light and to see it. So it was much different than what I would have expected. And I knew it was God. I can't say that it was, God's body. There's so much confusion with that. All I know is that this was emanating from God, or it was God, but it had the life force of God. It was the source of all love, that light was. And so the light said to me, you can come in if you want. And so of course I was like, yeah, I want to go in. So I came in. And then when I was in the light this time, the light I couldn't see past it. It was just like I was walking in like a cloud of light. It was just all around me. Every part of my body was just covered with light, and it was going into my soul. It was so beautiful that it almost will bring you into tears when you think about it. And I just said, I want to see Jesus. And as soon as I said that, the light opened up and I was in this huge room. It was bigger than that dark void was. And it was full of these beautiful, sparkling, just full of light, almost like the light was just popping out of them, beings that were just gorgeous. But there was one being that was right in the middle. It was no mistake who this was. It was Jesus. But he was so bright. He was as bright as the light that was emanating all around us. And as soon as I said I wanted to see his face, that's when Jesus's face started to come together. And as soon as his face came like to where I could see it instead of just seeing the bright lights, that's when all the other beings also, I could see that they were human beings. I could see that
they materialized or something.
Yes, they materialized. Like I was being, because before I could tell who they were, I could see everything. It was like there was no confusion to it, but for some reason I wanted to see Jesus's face. I could see what his face looked like as I was looking at him, but my memory couldn't remember what I was seeing. So no, it couldn't. I still can't remember what his face looks like. So people ask me, well, does he look like this picture or that picture? I'm like, they all kind of look like Jesus to me. And I remember he was smiling at me. And this is why it was so important, because I was reviewing with him. I was reviewing all of my sins, because every memory I had in life was there right before me. So everything that I did, good, bad, didn't do, all that kind of stuff, everything that had ever happened was right there, and I could access it all without any kind of confusion. It was more as if you focused on one thing that would take the priority, and everything else would kind of be there, but still fully there. So it wasn't as if he was condemning me or anything like that. He was looking with love and just kindness on me the whole time. And I was left with just peace. He was showing me that all the things that I had done, how they were wrong, but how he is peace and he is love, and he forgave me and he fixed things. He's like a great healer. So he gave me the option of whether I wanted to stay in heaven or if I wanted to come back. I ended up thinking for a second, like I was trying to think about all the reasons why I would want to go back. And it was hard because everything was perfect in heaven. It's hard to even think about anything else as being necessary to do back on earth. That's how wonderful heaven is. Everything is going to fall into perfect order there. I don't have to even worry about it. But still, I still had this idea that my family would need me, and my wife and my kids. And so Jesus had to ask me, he goes, but why would you want to go back? And so that was, right there. And that's when I said, well, for my family and for my kids. And he said that he loved them more than I ever did. And I could see it. It was so obvious. It wasn't like he was doing it to say that I didn't love my family enough. It was just that it was a fact. It was so obvious that he loves all of us so much that we can't worry about everybody else. We need to be, worried about our relationship with God. I started to really think then, well, what is it that I could go back for? And instantly I knew it was because I thought I could do more for him. That love that I felt from him, it like inspired me to want to do more for him, which the only thing I could do is to show love to other people, because there's nothing else I can give to God other than to love other people that he loves, and to be his hands and his feet and his heart and his arms here on earth for other people. And when I realized that, that's when he said, yes, that's what you can go back for. And then he told me 3 things. He told me that I need to pray more. And what he was saying is that I need to live a life of prayer, not always, just on my knees praying for 24 hours a day, but whatever I do should be a prayer, whether it's at work or if I see somebody who's hungry and I give them food. All of my actions should be about love and peace. And so then he showed me how I need to suffer joyfully. And when I was in heaven, that was super easy to understand, because I'm looking at God who came down and took form of a human being because he loves us. And it's all about that love. And really that's what suffering is to love. If you love somebody, your mother, she loves you. She would sacrifice so many things for you. And that is what love is about. It's an action, and it's about putting another first. And then I realized, or he told me that I needed to share his love. And that was really what my whole purpose was for even coming back, was because I knew I could do more for him. And that's what he told me I could do, is to share his love.